Hi, hello, my name is Velimir Zivkovic and I'm an associate professor and director of 3 LLM programs here at Warwick Law School. I am the course convener for the summer school on common law contracts, arbitration and advocacy. Before I came to Warwick, I studied at, a lot of different places actually. Belgrade for my undergrad and my first master's, then Oxford for my MJur degree. I got my PhD from the London School of Economics, after which I was in Berlin for 2 years before coming to Warwick. My primary area of research and teaching is international arbitration as a method of solving international disputes, commercial disputes, but also a range of other disputes. I also teach contract law, and therefore, as you can imagine, I'm very happy to teach a summer school which combines English common law of contracts with international dispute as a method of dispute settlement. In addition to that, I teach and research on international investment law, which is protection of foreign investments, and also more generally in the field of international rule of law and international economic law. For a brief overview, the idea is to give you a 3-week introduction, even if you're a beginner, into how English law of contracts works, how arbitration as a method of settling dispute works, and how advocacy, both written and oral, meaning presenting your arguments in both written and oral form, works. Why this? Well, first of all, because English contract law is the most widely chosen applicable law in international contracts. Arbitration, on the other hand, is the most widely chosen method of resolving disputes arising from international contracts. So you are getting essentially an introduction into, in many ways, how international commercial transactions work and operate. And at the same time, we will also try to cover how, if you get involved with them throughout your career, you can be advocating, presenting your arguments, writing, talking about these areas. Lectures, which are done by me, and seminars, which are conducted by my dear colleague Laila Latif. We have, obviously, lectures presenting on first contracts, then arbitration, then advocacy. And in those daily lectures, comprising around 3 hours of lectures in total, with a break in between for lunch, I tell you pretty much how to approach a particular area of contract law, of arbitration, or advocacy, coupling this with a discussion, which is something that I also want to talk about, is that this is not just your standard sitting there and listening to me telling you things. The expectation is that we have a dialogue, because there are no wrong questions, no wrong answers either. We are there to discuss these issues, to clarify things for you, and to make it an interactive experience for everyone. Seminars, therefore, then, through further discussion with Laila, test, in a way, test your understanding of how things are done. There is a written exam that is essentially a legal scenario that we put together that involves issues of contract law and arbitration law, and expects you as an advocate, as a lawyer, for your client, to advise your client how you analyze and assess a given situation, and what advice could you provide to your hypothetical client of how best to resolve this particular contract/arbitration. The advocacy skills, I think it is quite important for students to get acquainted quickly with the ways that you write and talk about the law, the way you make your arguments clear, the way you put forward your arguments, the way you structure your arguments. Those are the skills that we really want to emphasize throughout this course, both in the discussions, in the lectures, and in the seminars, and eventually for the assessment itself. But the other set of skills, which in our experience the students found really interesting, is seeing how common law and law generally is taught at UK institutions, which is quite different, I would say, from many other places in the world, because this emphasis on discussion, on critical reflection, on making sure that you make the best argument and apply the law for your client, not just recite back what you memorized in terms of the law, but actually apply the law in a given scenario. So my favorite thing about teaching the summer school is how international it is. We get a fantastic cohort on all the summer schools, on various programs that are going on. We get a very, very international group of students that comes together, has a wonderful program of social events happening throughout the summer school. There are trips and then social events, movie nights, and so many other things that I can't even remember them. All in a setting of summer, where the weather is actually really nice. And I think it's quite a memorable experience, both for myself as a teacher. I enjoy seeing that, and I think for the students who really cherish both the academic but also the social aspects of the summer school. And bearing that in mind, I really look forward to seeing you all in July here at Warwick.